Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I had my fantasy football draft yesterday, and I think I did maybe average to better than average, but this is the league that I've been with for years and years, and we do a physical draft, and there really was no social distancing in this particular case, but I did wash my hands a lot anyway. Okay, I wanted to start this video. Now, by the way, by the end of this video, I had another one of those moments last night where I my brain, while I was asleep, made a connection that I forgot all about. And it has to do with something that I saw with Brad Garlinghouse. And then it also relates to this controversial Charlie Ward guy, and one thing he's been saying over and over and over, and I'm going to tie it in by the end of this video, and you might just go, oh my gosh. I kind of did. All right. First, I wanted to remind you in the description of all of my videos, you can get the Digital Asset Investor newsletter, and when you sign up, I'm going to send you every month, I'm going to send you an email, and I may put a video together that's like, and just kind of tell you the digital assets that I own, and then other things I either own or I'm interested in. And so there's a lot of people that have joined this already. So go and join, and you will definitely hear from me on the first of each month. Okay. Now I wanted to mention this. I had, the other day I had posted this, that I had a, interview, or just kind of a conversation with Michelle, O'Connell. I think it's O'Connell. That's right. Michelle O'Connell. I'm sorry, O'Connor from Uphold. And she had addressed the Flare thing and whether they would support Flare. And then this was the video. Then the CEO of Flare responded and said, happy to talk to Uphold to give more color when they're ready. And she responded, let's make it happen. So, hopefully we'll find out more about how that goes in the coming little bit. All right. Then Chinu Patel sent me this. Ripple had tweeted this out. China is winning the financial battle of the tech Cold War. As a result, China will dictate important parts of a new global financial system, an unnecessary loss that we had all the tools to win. And then they're retweeting this from Chris Larson. China has near ubiquitous use of digital payments. Piloting state-controlled digital yuan has the largest concentration of crypto miners. The U.S. cannot afford to lose this tech Cold War if we want to maintain economic leadership globally. More thoughts below. So Chris Larson wrote an op-ed in The Hill. The tech Cold War is here and the U.S. isn't winning. Folks, I read this, and when I read it, I was like, oh, okay, so they're selling it to the politicians in Washington, because The Hill, this is a Washington, D.C. publication, is my understanding. But I wanted to draw your attention to this part right here. The power, and this is Chris Larson talking, the power and the privilege Americans enjoy from the dollar being the world's reserve currency cannot be overstated. While the U.S. makes up 21% of global GDP, the dollar accounts for over 88% of global trade. Part of this privilege comes from America's stewardship of the world's financial infrastructure, giving the U.S. enormous power in international relations and advancing the global economic system based on American values of American freedom and open access. The world, including China, has also benefited enormously from the American stewardship. Now, my only point, and I'm not going to go through this whole article, but my only point is, if the power of having the dollar as the world reserve currency cannot be overstated, are you telling me that the United States waited for China to get a jump and for China to be ahead? I don't believe that. If you believe that, I still have my igloo for sale in South Georgia. But anyway, so this is interesting though. This is the second time we've seen, I think it's the second time we've seen Ripple put something like this in a major publication. Now, I want to go back and talk about something else interesting. I've been talking about this space chain, and I believe after you watch this, you might be convinced too that the plan always, not just for XRP, but for XLM and Stellar as well. The plan always was, and I believe, by the way, I'm more convinced than ever that XRP and XLM are brother-sister digital assets, and that they're both going to be involved in the new system. So, but anyway, I want to show you this. Space Chain Foundation, our long-term aim to build an alliance consortium towards the creation of a decentralized satellite infrastructure, a mesh network of heterogeneous spacecraft owned and operated in low Earth orbit, LEO. No, keep that in mind. Low Earth orbit, that's LEO, right? By multiple parties in multiple jurisdictions. Now, I want to draw your attention. Look at the space. I want to do this again. Draw your attention. Look at the Space Chain logo and look how similar it is to the Stellar logo. All right. Now, I want you to remember this low Earth orbit. They call it LEO. Okay. And I want you to, let me see. And then let's look back. I want to reiterate to you. You've got on Stellar's homepage, you've got a stellar. It's a constellation is the picture on the stellar.org homepage. Now, this is this article for Space Chain right here. It's a Medium article, decentralized satellite infrastructure. And I want to draw your attention to this diagram. Satellite mesh network, distributed ledger node, Earth observation, astronomy. They've got all these things. It's all worked out here. But I wanted to draw your attention to this down here. What does this look like? Look at all of these nodes. So what you've got is you've got nodes that are obviously on the ground, on the planet Earth, and you've got these three-dimensional drawings of nodes that go up. And I've always said that that's what this on Ripple's website looked like to me. XRP, look, if you go down to this level, this is the Earth level, and you've got these that go up into space. That's why Greg Kidd called it an intergalactic currency. And when he said it, I thought that he was just a Star Trek nerd, and that was just him thinking out loud and what would be really cool or whatever. I don't think that now. I think this was all planned. Now, look at this. This is a graphic that you're looking at right here. It looks similar, doesn't it? It looks almost identical to the one that's on Ripple's website. This is when IBM Blockchain WorldWire was talking about their partnership with Stellar. And watch this.
IBM.
All right, this is Jesse Lund, who was the head of blockchain. Look behind him. Again, we have that world. We have nodes that are flat on the Earth, but we've got this three-dimensional thing where you can see them going up into outer space. And listen to what they say.
Blockchain WorldWire is an entirely new type of payment network that's designed for regulated financial institutions that includes both banks and non-banks.
IBM Blockchain WorldWire works by connecting participants over a peer-to-peer network for the exchange of financial messages as well as digital assets that are issued on the same network using a set of common APIs. And the results of the settlement as well as the messaging are stored onto a blockchain for auditability as well as transparency benefits throughout this whole remittance application that we are building it up.
Actually moves together on the same network. The primary value proposition is that money moves faster and cheaper. There's less friction in the whole process of the transfer of value from one point to the other. And I think in general, that just improves the customer experience overall. Money should flow as seamlessly, as fast as information flows.
Now look, that's the end of it, but I want you to see, if you look closely on this picture they have behind, you can see that some of these nodes are up in lower orbit above the Earth. Now, you may not have known, but IBM has a thing called SpaceTech. This is their space division, transforming satellite launches with blockchain. And it says here, a new space age is dawning. Space is no longer confined to government and military agencies like NASA and its contractors, but expanding rapidly via private commercial companies like SpaceX, Blue Origin, Cloud Constellation. There's that word constellation again. And then as you go down here, they talk about SpaceX set to launch 60 satellites for Starlink mega constellation. There's that word constellation again. Remember, I keep bringing up constellation because Stellar has a constellation on their website. So we go back to this SpaceTech, IBM SpaceTech. That is what they called it, isn't it? SpaceTech. SpaceX is going to launch these satellites SpaceX designed Starlink to connect end users with low latency, high bandwidth broadband services and providing continual coverage around the world using a network of thousands of satellites in low Earth orbit, which is LEO, low Earth orbit, right? So we go down here and it says satellite launch solution. This part right here is where you need to focus. Satellite manufacturers LEO Stella assembles and ships satellites to the launch services provider. Here's the website for LEO Stella. If you had just an R, it would be LEO Stellar, but it's LEO Stella. And this is the company that creates these mini satellites to go up in space. And I believe it's got many satellites that are going to have nodes for Stellar, if not, or for XLM, if not for XRP as well. I believe, like I said, I think XRP and Stellar is a brother-sister thing. I think we've been watching, they don't get along and Jed McCaleb's mad and he's selling this. I don't believe that. I think that this has always been a brother-sister thing. Okay. Now let's show you what this might be an eye-opener for you. Okay. As we all know, this Charlie Ward guy has been a very controversial character in social media over the last couple of weeks. Because what he's been saying he's been saying, well, first I'll give you the disclaimers. Here's the deal with Charlie Ward. It's one of about three things. First thing is this guy's the first scenario is he's a total nut and he's just making up a bunch of stuff to get a bunch of subscribers. Now I've watched the guy enough at this point to at least in my opinion, I don't take this guy as that kind of a person. I think that he's been told something. But I think that the parts like about XRP being backed by gold, I don't think that he's being dishonest. I think he's been told something about XRP and about Ripple in relation to, and digital assets in relation to gold, but I think he's just stating it wrong. He's admitted that he does not know anything about crypto and all that. I think that he's heard those words and it's coming out of his mouth as XRP backed by gold, but that's not really what it's about. What I believe is you could have a stable coin, like a digital dollar backed by gold, and XRP bridges these things. Okay. I do believe that. And I do also believe that there could be an XRP price set in conjunction with those types of things. But I don't believe that he really understands that part of things. And he said he does it. So either he's a complete liar, made it up, or he's miscommunicating some of the things from these sources. And he actually does have sources. Now I looked into some of his stuff and, looking around at some of these pictures I've seen him around people that would be the kind of people that, would know. But anyway, but words mean things, folks. And against the backdrop of him really probably not knowing much about digital assets, words mean things. And there's one word that this guy keeps on using, and that is, he said that on August the 2nd, sit tight, folks, because you're about to enjoy the ride. He said that on August 2nd, the U.S. went live with this, what he calls quantum financial system. And the other part of this is, I don't believe that means that it's quantum as in we have quantum computers. I believe it's a marketing term. I believe that it's possible, if he's right, that the United States and the world maybe created a new financial system and they're calling it a quantum financial system. And that's more of a marketing term. Sounds cool, right? Just like the quantum fund was created by George Soros, but they're not using quantum computers. It's a futuristic type sounding word. Now, so in this clip, but the word that he keeps using is that the United States is running this new system in parallel. He keeps using the word parallel, and I'll play it here for you again, that they're running this new system in parallel to the old SWIFT system. Listen to what he says.
your take on this quantum financial system.
The quantum financial system is a digital banking system which settles anywhere in the world within 60 seconds. It was tested out on the 2nd of August. They pinged every bank in the world to make sure that it worked. It will replace the current SWIFT system. How long it runs parallel for, I don't know. I do not know if they're going to use XRP, but I do know that it is using the blockchain system.
Right.
The other thing that I do know is that XRP is gold backed, and it's been kept very much under wraps. So it's down for you, somebody like you who is a...
Okay. So you heard him. He said it's running in parallel since August the 2nd. All right. Well, the digital asset investor woke up in the middle of the night last night and something popped in my head. That word parallel means something. And I've seen that word, and I've seen it in important places, and I'm about to show you. What you're looking at right here is the Chamber of Digital Commerce. For those of you who have, this is their website. For those of you who have been watching my channel for any period of time, you do know that the Chamber of Digital Commerce seems to be the industry organization that is connected to all of the most powerful companies and people all the way to Washington, D.C. The Chamber of Digital Commerce was started by that lady named Perion Boring. And Perion Boring started her career as an intern at the White House, and then she worked for Congress. I've gone through her resume on LinkedIn before. She knows all these people. Now, let's go down through what I'm about to show you might blow your mind a little bit. Let's go down through. This is their executive committee. I want to show you who all is in this. Accenture, one of the original backers of Ripple, one of the most important companies in all of digital assets and blockchain is Accenture. You see all the banks. BNY Mellon, you know all about that if you've been watching this channel. Citi, Deloitte, Digital Asset, that's the blockchain company that was created by JP Morgan. IBM, Hedera Hashgraphs here, Gemini, JP Morgan, Ripple, R3, everybody's here. Everybody who's changing this world. Wells Fargo, President's Circle, and then it goes through CME Group, who was one of the first Ripple backers, who sent Miguel Valles to head the XRP markets. You got CoinMarketCap, ErisX, everybody, Stellar, everybody who is anybody in this whole thing. There's Michael Arrington's Arrington XRP Capital. They're all involved. NASDAQ. I mean, I could go on and on and on and on and on. Okay. Ethereum Alliance, all of it. All right. Now, do you remember? Okay. First, before I get to this next thing, this is the Chamber of Digital Commerce's YouTube channel. I just want to go through, just scroll through and show you a few people that have been, that have done videos with the Chamber of Digital Commerce, over the last few years, last 3 years. There's Chris Giancarlo right there. You can see him. Don Tapscott, same guy who's on the board at SpaceCoin, right? Or he's an advisor at SpaceCoin. Also, same guy that was at Ripple Swell as a speaker in 2017, I believe. Let's go through. There's Blythe Masters, who literally created derivatives, which collapsed the financial system in 2008, left JP Morgan after that and created Digital Asset. And she's one of the most pivotal figures in this whole world. There she is again, Blythe Masters. As we go on up, there's David Rudder from R3, one of the most important characters in this whole thing. As we keep going, let me see, there's Don Tapscott again. And don't worry, you'll see plenty of major people. There's Perion Boring. Look at the backdrop here. Accenture. Accenture is all over this and always has been all over all of this. There's Accenture as the sponsor behind it. Oh, there's Tom Emmer, the same guy that got on with Brad Garlinghouse this past week and said that XRP is not a security and is now accepting XRP donations on his website. As we go along, as you go on up, you'll see other characters. There's Darren DeSoto, one of the guys that was him and Warren Davidson had put up the Token Taxonomy Act back in the day. There's Brad Garlinghouse on stage with them. There is Craig Phillips, who used to be with the Treasury Department, and we've seen the picture of him right beside Steve Mnuchin. He's sitting there on stage. He's also on the board at Ripple. And as you go on up and you keep going up, you'll see more and more. There's Chris Giancarlo again, who used to run the CFTC, now runs the Digital Dollar Foundation. He's also working for a law firm that represents Ripple. As we go up, let me see if there's anybody else interesting. Wait, this guy right? There's Chris Giancarlo again. And then there's all kinds of characters on here that are somebody. Now, do you remember? Now remember, folks, remember this. Charlie Ward said that on August the 2nd, right? August the 2nd is when this system began running in parallel with the old system. What you're looking at is from XRP Arcade, right? This is from James Rule. He had put this video on YouTube. It was July the 17th. So just a couple of weeks before August the 2nd. Brad Garlinghouse is at this online event. I covered it. I remember this guy, Jameson Greer. He's with King and Spalding. He used to be with the U.S. Trade Department, I believe. Very connected guy. But Brad Garlinghouse was on with these guys. Okay. July 17th. So July 17th, they're on. Well, who are they on with? This is a chamber of digital. Am I saying that right? This is a Chamber of Digital Commerce sponsored event. Okay. And what is it called? It's called Parallel. And I remembered this. I woke up in the middle of the night and I said, I remember wondering why they called this thing Parallel. This is a running thing that they're doing. They're going to have another one on September the 18th. But I want to read to you what there's two things that I remembered about this. The first was that I was like, well, that looks a lot like the Stellar logo. It's got these two parallel lines. And the other thing is, but they're in the different direction. But I just remember where in the world is the word parallel coming from? So if you read the description of why they are using it, they tell you parallel, involving two or more computer processes happening at one time. Everywhere we look across the blockchain industry, we see an old world and a new world running in parallel. Whether that is an established financial systems being reimagined by fintech and DeFi, or analog systems being digitized, or new technologies being retrofitted into decades-old regulatory frameworks. All are necessary and valuable. As we lean into the next phase of adoption, the Parallel Virtual Event Series will explore the fundamental transformations that are happening across the blockchain industry. As technology approaches, thinking and beliefs merge, combine, and times collide. There are parallel tracks. Listen to this. There are the parallel tracks we are all part of, and ultimately some will converge. But how, when, where, and why? The Chamber of Digital Commerce is set to deliver some of the most dynamic and visionary thinkers to take us on a journey of parallel universes throughout 2020. We invite you to join us on this virtual trip. Now, folks, from the inception of my channel, I'm having a computer lock up here. There we go. From the inception of my channel, I have told you that words mean things over and over and over. And people use words to mean specific things. And I've used as an example for all you single guys out there that if you're ever dating a girl and she says, quote, "we need to talk," those words mean things, and those are bad words. Run, because that means she's about to break up with you. But words mean things. Sets of words mean things. I believe that this word right here could end up being the most important word that means something in the history of my channel, at least, and maybe in history, period, because this word might mean what we possibly think it means. So, I've had a lot of people that have been asking me about the Pure VPN and a virtual private network and why you need one. I want you to watch this again, and it's in the description of all of my videos. In fact, this is that they're running the 7-day trial. I have one of these myself. Get the best VPN for trading. They're doing it's a 7-day trial. This is there's a link to this in the description of all my videos. This is how you keep hackers from knowing where you are, folks. And in this digital asset space, especially as these prices go up, you need all the protection you can get. Watch this.
Are you sure that you're safe while using public Wi-Fi? This can happen to anyone. Use Pure VPN, the most reliable and easy to use VPN. Protect yourself from rogue hackers.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family that parallel might be a word that really means something. Thank you for listening.